What's going on, guys? With LSU's defense recording historically bad performances to start the season, there may be no worse time to travel to Gainesville to face the high-powered Florida Gators offense. Regardless, today we're going to be taking a deep dive into the Gators offense. At quarterback, the Gators are led by a senior quarterback and Heisman frontrunner, Kyle Trask. Trask currently paces the SEC and ranks second in the country with 14 touchdown passes in just 3 games. His other numbers include being third in the SEC in completion percentage, third in QB rating, fourth in yards per attempt, and fifth in yards per game. Kyle Trask's 2 favorite targets are wide receiver Kadarius Toney and tight end Kyle Pitts. Nearly half of Florida's pass completions go to Toney and Pitts, along with 69% of Florida's touchdown passes. Kadarius Toney is a complete receiver that can beat you with his speed over the top, or he can beat you on intermediate routes with his elite route running. I would expect Toney to get a heavy dose of LSU's Derek Stingley Jr., with Toney being the sophomore corner's largest test so far this year. Much like Toney, Kyle Pitts is another receiver that can beat you with athleticism or just plain fundamentals. The only difference with Pitts is a 6'6" and 240 pounds. Pitts is tied with LSU receiver Terrace Marshall for second in the country with 7 touchdown catches on the season. Florida will line Pitts up as an inline tight end as well as split him out wide at receiver. I expect you're going to see several different LSU defenders kind of get their chance to defend him. Jacoby Stevens, Jabril Cox, maybe even Todd Harris. In the trenches, Florida fields a very experienced offensive line. They do an excellent job keeping Trask on his feet, allowing just 4 sacks so far on the season. They average about 1 sack every 27 pass attempts. Just for comparison's sake, Miles Brennan goes down once about every 15. The Gators are led on the offensive line by right guard Stuart Reese. Reese is a former Dan Mullen signee at Mississippi State where he started over 3 years. Rounding out the Gators offensive line is left tackle Stone Forsythe, left guard Richard Gorage, let me know how bad I butchered that name, center Brett Hedgie, and right tackle Jack DeLance. The Gators' excellence through the air has not carried over to their ground game. Following their week 1 performance where they ran for 196 yards against college football's worst run defense, the Ole Miss Rebels. Florida ran the ball 24 times for 80 yards against South Carolina, and then they ran it another 24 times for 90 yards against Texas A&M. Across those 2 games, they averaged about 3.5 yards per carry. The Gators also do not pretend to be balanced with their 66-44 run-to-pass ratio. Last week against the Aggies, they threw it 32 times and just 13 runs on first down. No feature back has emerged for the Gators, with Dameon Pierce, Naquan Wright, and Malik Davis splitting carries to the tune of 7 carries, 6 carries, and 5 carries last week. What this means for LSU though, who knows? They couldn't stop Vanderbilt or Missouri on the ground. Lastly, before we get into prediction, I wanted to throw out a couple Florida numbers on offense. They are second in the SEC in scoring at 42.3 points a game. They're 9th in rushing at 122 yards a game. 5th in passing, 342 yards a game. 2nd in sacks allowed at just 1.3 per game. They are 3rd in third down conversions, 57%. And then they are 1st in the red zone, converting 100% of the time, with 80 of those being touchdowns. They're also a big threat in the passing game for big plays. They average a 20-plus yard pass every 6.6 pass attempts. LSU's at about 8.7, Bama's 4.8, and Ole Miss is 5.3. That could spell trouble for LSU because they allow a 20-plus yard completion every 5.5 attempts. The SEC average is around 9.5. So there you have it. If the game is played this week, I think with LSU's kind of focus on making things simpler for their defensive players, I do think you're gonna see a better performance, but being that Florida's offense is so good, you may not see it in the numbers. I'm really interested to see what Stingley can do against Toney, but I don't see anybody that can defend Kyle Pitts for LSU. And honestly, I don't really have that much faith in LSU to stop the run either. As far as my prediction for the game, I do think LSU will have a good bit of success offensively, but I don't think it's going to be enough to match Florida. So I'm going to go Gators 41, Tigers 34. Hope I'm wrong, but we'll see, hopefully see this coming Saturday. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. As always, drop your predictions down in the comments. Drop your bold takes down in the comments. Just Go down there and get discussion started. Talk about whatever you want. As always, if you haven't already, please consider hitting that subscribe button. Hit the like button. It helps this video get out, and I appreciate any time you guys do that. And as always, go Tigers, and see you guys next week. Later.